Select.
So the select command works by selecting the chops, but it's not really used that often. It's more of a helper command or like a documentation command. It's just there to show you all the different ways you can select the sounds. But typically the way you select is just by putting the selection in front of the command you're about to run. So I'll demonstrate how that works real quick. So first, if you want to learn about a command, you can just run help select or whatever the command name is, and it will print out all the information. So we can see that the keywords are select and cell. So those are the two ways you can type it. This is the description, access level, whether it's like pro or admin or whatever, and then multiplayer, whether it's multiplayer, and then here are the arguments. So let me show you how the first example works. So if I do cell 0, I ran the command cell and passed argument 0, so it selected this kick, and that's because the kick is track 0 here. That's what this number in front is. Now I can also select it by doing cell kick, and so for the hat I could select it by doing cell 1 or cell hat, and I can also select by partial matches. So if I was to do cell HA, it's going to find the hat sound. If I was to do cell KIC, it's going to find the kick sound. Now you can do selections on a few different things, like I can select by low frequencies. So I could say cell low, that's going to select just the kick. If I do cell high, that's going to select just the hi-hat. And you can see that they're different frequencies because they're different colors. There's no real science to the colors, it just depends on your theme. So there's 3 different colors: low, mid, and high frequency. Now you can invert selections by putting an I asterisk in front of whatever your selection is. So I could say select everything except sound 0. So now it's going to select the hat, or select everything except the high sounds. Now it's going to select the kick. So you can see all these different ways, and you can select by percentages, etc., etc. And I would say focus, if you're new on Beat DJ, just focus on selecting tracks. And then once you get comfortable with that, then come back and learn this equals syntax. Let's take a quick 20-second break and listen to some music. This is Phoenicia Demissions. And so the equals syntax is for selecting multiple chops. And so, for like a year, actually 2 years, we didn't even have this syntax. It's brand new. So you can do a lot with Beat DJ without this, but now it has more control, so you can actually select the individual chops inside the sound. So you can see this kick and the hat both have 4 chops here. And if I make this loop length longer, you can see we have 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So those are called chops. They're basically parts of the sound that we can edit. So if I was to do 0 equals, well, first I'll put cell in front. 0 equals, now I can select any of those chops inside there. So I could do cell 0 equals 0, and I selected chop 0 there. And so now we can select different ones. So I could select 0 and 2, or I could select 2 through 4, 2 through 3 actually, because it's inclusive. So 3, 2, and 3 are both included in the match. Now I could combine these, so I could say, okay, 0, 1, I want to select 2 through 3. So now both the kick and the hat have chops 2 and 3 selected. So the reason we don't really use this command is because it's just a documentation command. Basically, it shows you what you can do. But typically when we're working with Beat DJ, what you'll do is put the selection in front of whatever you want to edit. So if I want to say delete the last kick off of the end of that, I'll say 0 equals 0, 1, 2, 3. So 0 equals 3. Delete. So I selected and I did the operation all at once. Now I could say number 1, I want to do a manipulation, like put more repetitions using the roll command, and you can see it added those repetitions in there. Let's have another quick break and listen to a different track from this album. There are many more advanced selection types. The percentages are fun, so I often use, if we had like a lot of sounds, if I duplicate all these, I might do 1R, which means a 1 out of 9 probability of selecting one of the chops, so it's 11%. And the reason for the syntax is just because it's fast to type. So 1R, and then you can say, I don't know, I'll pitch up by 2, 1% of the sounds, or 11%. So you can see this track 2 got selected and got pitched up. The gate selection type is also really powerful. So the gate selection type I will demonstrate. Let me delete all the kicks. I'll do kick D, and then 0 through 2 delete. So you can see I just used the selection 2 times there. Now let's say I had this group of hi-hats I have all the way across here, which is a phrase of hi-hats. Let's say I want to select the second half of them. So I can use the gate selection type for this. So I can say 0 equals gate 0, 1. So I'm passing a binary pattern that basically says no selection and then selection like this. Let me put cell in front. There we go. You can see it highlights it with this white border around it. Now if I was to do an operation, it will affect that part. I'll undo. The undo doesn't work on specific chops. It actually works on the whole sound. And so now let's say what if I did a gate pattern that's 0, 1, 0, 1. You can see the first 4 are off, then on, then off, then on. So there's many more, but that covers most of the basics. You can do even selection. You can do every third chop, etc. There's also this index in length selection type, which can be useful in certain cases, like if you had a breakbeat, for example. So I have this breakbeat and I want to select all the clap positions. So the way I can do that is do 0 equals I4 in length 8. So it's basically saying every 8 beats, grab the 4th beat and select that. Let's see if it works. So it found one match because a lot of these don't line up exactly on the clap. But what's cool now is we could just say, okay, swap with a new clap. So we can just swap out the clap in our break. Another way you can manipulate breaks or any sounds that are composed of multiple types of sounds is by selecting based on frequency. So I can say 0 equals low, and that's going to select all the low frequency sounds inside this break. So let's see what happens. You can see it selected the first chop. So the first one got classified as a kick pretty much. Let's see if we do mid-range. So you can see it looks like there's a lot more mid-range ones being selected, but the kick one is kind of interesting because I could swap that with a new kick. So yeah, you can select individual chops by frequency. That's about it for the select command. Thanks for watching and check out the next video.